I guess it was about a week or so ago, you guys may have seen a post that I did where I received a request from a customer, and she wants me to make a tree of life for her. And she wants me to incorporate some glass that was very special to her and her husband. They are Jewish, and a tradition in a Jewish wedding is to break glass. And she sent me the glass that they broke at their wedding, and she wants me to incorporate that into a tree of life. And I just think that is so special that we have the glass from their wedding in a tree of life, and what a tree of life represents, and family and all that kind of thing. And so that's what we're gonna work on tonight. So I kind of want to tell you, she sent a little flyer with her glass explaining about the breaking of glass in a Jewish Jewish wedding. One of the views is that broken glass can't be mended, and so that kind of reflects the permanence of marriage. I thought that was very interesting. Another is that glass is very fragile, and the fragility of glass is symbolic of the frailty of human relationships. And even though this couple will strengthen their relationship through marriage, they have to remember to take care to maintain that bond as they settle into life together. But no matter what the interpretation is, the breaking of the glass is an important part of the Jewish wedding and the beginning of their life together as a married couple. And I just think that is so cool. The title of this little brochure was Mazel Tov, and I thought, I've heard that a lot. What does that really mean? Mazel Tov means good luck. That's the literal meaning of it, but it is used instead of the word congratulations. So people say Mazel Tov. So I hope that my customer, she knows that I am putting the glass on the tree tonight on this live, and I hope that she's going to be able to join us and watch me create this glass for her and put the glass on here and create this as she's watching it. So to her and her husband, I would like to say Mazel Tov. So I'm going to turn the camera down and we're going to get started. So y'all hold tight for just a second and let me get this camera turned down so that you guys can see what I'm working on. And it will be right side up. And it's going to take a second for this to catch up, and I want to make sure that it is centered as best as I can center it. Okay, I got a glare from the light in it. Let's see if I can work on that, but I think this will work. All right, so this glass on this plate, this is the broken glass from their wedding. So this is what she sent me to incorporate into their tree. She asked for what we call a Caribbean tree, which has teals and aquas and that kind of thing in it. Let me see if I can get this light out of here a little bit. Maybe back that up some and see if that helps. A little bit. So she wants me to incorporate this glass into a tree of life. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So she asked for a Caribbean tree, and a Caribbean tree for us is typically teals and aquas and a little bit of blue and that kind of thing. So it's typically these kinds of colors. So she thought that would be very complimentary to her glass, and I agree with her. I think that's a wonderful choice. Then she said, take some artistic liberties, and if I felt the need, I could incorporate some green. So I went through my green, and I have pulled out some green glass. If it kind of had a yellow or a goldish tint, I tried to pick that out and not have that in the choice of green to put on this tree of life. The other color that she felt like that might want to add a little bit of was white. So I went through my white chips of glass. This is all chips of stained glass that has been tumbled, and so the sharp edges have been rounded off so it won't cut you. And I picked out pieces that were more translucent. So some of them are basically translucent white, some are clear in white, And this one is actually like sea glass. It's etched on two sides. So I tried to pick out a few pieces of white. Then I got some darker blue because I thought that maybe this on the bottom would give the tree a little depth and provide a base for the aquas and the teals and give it a little bit of depth and a little bit of dimension. So we're going to put a little bit of that on there. And we have this right here is called Tahitian Blue Reflective. It's kind of a greenish blue color. And we have some aqua glass. This is all broken tempered glass. And I have a little bit of this light Irish green color, and it's got a reflective side to it. Some people call this Solex. And I have some clear, and this is a broken shower door. This clear glass will create pop and sparkle on the tree. So in addition to that, I always like to come to the table when I'm creating something like this with anything that I think I might want to add. Well, I know this is going on there. So I also brought a few, the one that she saw that she liked had some nuggets on it. So I brought some nuggets, some clear and some aqua nuggets. Don't know if we'll add those, but I have them over here. And then I also have some glass chips. These are chips from a glass blower, and they look really well. Like this one right here is almost the same color as this glass. So I think these might be complementary, but I don't want to take away from this glass. This is the star of the show, and so we want this glass to shine and pop, and I don't want anything that's going to compete with it. So we're going to start on this, and we always start with our chipped glass first. And I do one of two things. I either start my base of my glass with a dark color or with clear, depending on what I'm working on. If I'm doing a winter tree of life, then I usually put a base of clear. If I'm doing a spring, a lot of times I'll put a base of clear. But on this one, since I want to have some darker colors to create that depth, I'm going to begin with the darker color. This right here is a tree that we make a lot of these, and I have prepared the substrate. It is on clear glass, and this blue you see around this is painter's tape that's on the back side, and that is on there so that when I pour the resin on here, if it runs over the edge, it will not stick to the back. It'll peel off of this glass. I am not going to put resin on this tonight, and the reason I'm not putting resin on this is because she has sent me this glass, and this is all she has. She saved from her wedding, and this is all that she has. Well, I'm going to put some of this on here, but I'm not going to put all of it on here, and the reason for that is when I ship this back to her, it's going all the way to Colorado, and when I ship this back to her, if something catastrophic were to happen and this tree was broken and I had incorporated all of this on here, then her piece would basically, all of her glass would be gone and it would be ruined. So I am going to incorporate some of this, but I am going to ship back to her in a separate box what I have remaining, just in case there is a problem and I need to remake the tree. So I don't want to use all of her glass for that reason. Okay, so we're going to kind of get started, and I'm going to start with this darker blue. Some of this is really dark. It's almost navy blue, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on here. No rhyme or reason to how it's on here. Some of these pieces are a lighter blue, but she had asked for some white, so I'm going to leave them there. This one's actually got a little bit of kind of a teal color to it. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on here, just kind of sprinkle it on here. No, just kind of get me a little base, a little background for the other glass. I think this is such a cool commission. I love making art that has meaning to someone. So this is a cool piece. We did last year at Christmas, we did some little 4x4 canvases and incorporated Grandmama's jewelry into all the pieces for all of her grandchildren, into a piece for each of her grandchildren. She has passed away, and so one of her daughters brought it in, and I made pieces for all of the grandchildren, and it was so fun and so special. I loved every minute of creating that. Okay, now I'm just going to take my hands and I'm just going to kind of pat a little bit so I don't have any sharp edges sticking up. Like, you don't want a piece sticking straight up like this. So I'm just going to kind of pat it down a little bit. Okay, now our next layer is going to be, well, let's do a little bit of green as a kind of down here in our base. Not much, just a little bit. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of this green in here. Just a few pieces here and there, nothing, not a lot. This piece looks a little out of place, so I'm going to put it up in here. This is just variety. Some of it is opaque, some of it is translucent. This piece right here is iridescent, so let's make sure we have that iridescent side up. The other side is not iridescent, as you can see. One side is not iridescent, this one is iridized, so I'll make sure that one is iridized side up. You kind of want to look at this and kind of make sure you have a balance of colors. You don't have all your green on one side, you know, or you skipped a whole spot where you don't have any at all, that kind of thing. So, let's see, there's this random piece right here. Okay, I think that's good. Looks kind of balanced. Looks pretty good. All right, so we got our green. Now we're going to add our Caribbean colors, our aqua teals. And so a little bit of this has a little bit of green in it. It's a little bit of aqua, a little bit of teal, some kind of turquoise. So I think this is going to be very complimentary. This is almost the color of her glass. If you would like to make a tree of life yourself, and you want to make one for yourself, I sell this chipped up glass. It's chipped and tumbled. I sell that. I sell crushed glass. I also sell kits that have all of this in it, including instructions start to finish on what you need to do on how to make one. Put a little bit more in here of this aqua teal color. Maybe a little bit up here across the top. Around these edges, just a little bit. So it's kind of evened out. A little bit right here in the middle. So I think that looks pretty good. And this one looks a little purple, so I'm going to take it out. All right. One of the things that I like to do when I do this is once I get everything on here, I'll kind of take a picture of it and then walk away from it for a bit and come back to it and see if there's anything that looks, a lot of times a picture, when you're looking at it, when I'm looking at it, I'm kind of looking at it as at an angle. This is the white with a little bit of clear. I have just a few pieces of this. When you take that picture, take it straight down, and you will see what it'll look like if it was hanging on the wall. It looks completely different hanging on the wall from the way it looks laying here on the table. So it'll give you a perspective of what your piece will look like, and you can see things like balance, and like you may have more glass on one side than you do the other, some of that kind of thing. Okay, so I think that's good. All right, The next thing we're going to add is our crushed glass. And so basically we've added our flat glass, and now we're going to add our more dimensional glass. So this is basically a base layer. And a lot of people will look at this and go, oh my gosh, I don't want to put too much glass on it because I want to be able to see my limbs. You'll be able to see the limbs in your tree. We're going to put a little bit of this Tahitian blue. This is reflective, so it's got a mirror side on it, and the other side is not. I don't pay attention to which side landed up. I don't sit here and try to flip them all over one way or the other. If a piece looks really big, I'll break it up. I love this color. So let's just keep going, add a few more little pieces in here. Okay, we can add more if we need to. We can come back to it. See if you guys have any questions. Sharon's answering questions. Hey, Tammy, thank you for watching. So here we go. This is our aqua glass, and the aqua glass is slightly lighter, but it's almost the same color as this. So I want to put a little bit of this on here because I think that will help pull it all together, pull all the colors together. Anyway, what I was telling you was if you would like to learn how to make this, we teach this as a class here in our studio, a face-to-face class. It is offered as an online course where you would provide all of your own materials. It's video instruction. Or you can buy your supplies from me, or you can buy a kit. And the kit also comes with instructions on how to do this. I'm pulling the big pieces out in case you're wondering, what's she doing over there to the side? I'm pulling the bigger pieces of this out. They keep coming out of my cup. Okay, just a little bit more of this. Okay, now the one that she saw that she liked had a little bit of glass sprinkled down here at the bottom. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this color, these smaller pieces of this color, down here in this kind of negative space down here. Not much, just a few little pieces down in here. The one that she liked had that. We don't always do that, but I want to kind of keep in the same vein as the one that she liked, that she saw online. Okay, so there we go. There's our aqua. Once again, I'm going to pat it down, make sure I've got everything like I want it. All right, and now we have a little bit of this Irish green. I'm just going to put a touch of this, not much, just a few little sprinkles of this. Kind of pull in that green color that we have in there. Now, when this is hung in a window, one of the things that I always make sure and take care to do is that the back is just as pretty as the front. Because if you hang this, say, like in your dining room window, and there's a porch, and people are going to walk by that piece of art that you have hanging in that window, you want the back to be just as pretty as the front. So, also, when the light passes through it, you will be able to see all of these colors, all of this depth of color will show through. And even though glass can be a little bit opaque, light still passes through it. and it will reflect. And so all of this glass, each one of these little pieces is going to refract that glass in a different way, and it will be pretty on the front and the back. Be pretty in both directions. Okay, now our last crushed glass, this is a broken shower door, so it's just clear glass. This is pure sparkle. That's all this is. Look what happens. You get pure sparkle, and all that color underneath here will show through. So all this colored glass will now show through this clear, and you'll be able to see all the colors underneath it. So it's not covering anything up. All it's doing is adding a little bit of sparkle. Okay. All right. I think that's enough of the clear. So that's enough of all those things. Our next thing is to add her glass and any other embellishments that we may want to add to this. So remember, I brought the glass chips and I brought some nuggets, but let's add her glass first, since that's the star of the show, and we don't want to do anything that is going to take away from that glass. So we want it to stand out and show. So we're going to select, I don't know, 2 or 3 of these bigger pieces, and I'm going to kind of nestle them down into the glass, down into the other glass that's already on here. I want to kind of keep them, I don't want them like in a triangle. I want them to look random. So let's put another one here, and let's get one down here. Maybe it'll be kind of cool, kind of hanging off like that a little bit where you can really see it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to do this in odd numbers. So we're going to take one more, and it'll be kind of a small piece, and we'll put that there. Now we're going to come back to some of these smaller ones too and add those. All right, let's look at some nuggets. Now what I will do is once I'm done with this, I will take some pictures of it, and I will send her those pictures. And if there's something on here that she doesn't like, I can take it off. I can remove it. We can change it up. We can do whatever we want. But once I pour the resin on it, we can't do that. So I want to take a picture and let her see it before I put resin on it, so that if there's something that she doesn't quite like, or she wants more of her broken glass on it, or less of something else, all of this can be changed. None of this is set in stone. So for example, see this green piece right here? I don't really like that. So we're going to put that right over the top. This one seems to be shining bright to me, like stands out to me. So we're just going to kind of push them back a little bit. Like if you were painting and you wanted to push something back into your painting, you don't want it to look like there's one color dominating everything else, or it stands out like a sore thumb. It looks out of place. So that's what we're doing, kind of pushing that back. All right, we're going to add a few of these. Once again, I like to do this in odd numbers. I love this piece. Is almost the exact same color as her glass. Almost exactly the same color. So we're going to put a piece of this in here. And let's see where it would look good. Let's put it right here. And here's a small one. So we'll put it over here somewhere. And here's another small one that's the same glass. This and this is the same broken piece. So let's don't put it over here beside that one. Let's put it, I got a heavy piece in my hand. So let's put this one down here and kind of nuzzle it down in here so you don't have any sharp edges. And then this one right here is really kind of cool. It's got a little bit of green on it and some of that aqua kind of color. So let's add this one, and we'll put it kind of up here, like so. And there we go. All right, now we're going to add a little bit more of her glass. Okay, some of this glass is really small. See how small this is? If I put that on there, it's just going to seep down into the other glass and really kind of disappear, and you won't see it. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on there, but not much. But I am going to put some of these medium-sized pieces on here. I want to save these bigger ones in case we have a problem. I can go back and make another tree for her if things, you know, don't go well in shipping. So we'll save those, and we definitely won't put those on there, but we'll put some of these smaller pieces. Here's another bigger one. We'll put some of these kind of medium-sized pieces in here and kind of sprinkle them around. So some of this looks darker. It looks like that the glass that they broke was kind of an ombre, kind of had a darker spot, and then it got lighter as it got down toward the stem. That's how it looks in these broken pieces that I have here. So, y'all tell me if this is something that you enjoyed. If you're on here and you're new, let us know where you're from. Thank you for joining us. We hope you come back and join us again and watch our journey, our art journey. So let's get another couple of pieces up here around this edge, right up in this edge up here, just to kind of pull the glass up to the edge a little bit. And then I'm going to put some of these tiny pieces, some of these little bitty ones, I'm going to sprinkle them down here in the open space, in this negative space area, to draw attention to this is their glass. This is their broken glass. Isn't this the coolest idea? I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. What an honor to be entrusted to do something like this for someone. I feel very blessed. Very, very blessed. Okay. Maybe one more over here. And let's see. Maybe one more over here. What do y'all think? So there we go. This is our commission piece. I'm going to take a picture of it and I'll send it to her for her approval before I put resin on it. And hopefully if she sees it and she approves, then we'll resin it tomorrow. Then it has to cure for 3 days before it can be shipped, so I can ship it next week. But if she doesn't like it, it is not going to hurt my feelings to take this glass off and start again. It will not hurt my feelings at all. This is, you know, something I'm doing for someone else, and the customer needs to be happy. That's how I look at it. Okay, let's see. See what y'all think. See if anybody's got any questions. I'm going to turn the camera back up. Isn't this gorgeous? I told y'all in a post earlier today that I was going to work on a wave, and I didn't quite get that wave painted today. It's close, but it's not quite finished.